Hi, I'm Dr. Michael W. Berry, professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science here at UT Knoxville. I'm pleased to welcome you to the online version of Computer Science 370, Section 501, called Intro to Scientific Computing, for the second summer session of 2019, which runs from July 8th through August 9th. What I'm doing in this very short video is just to kind of go over the syllabus with you and show you some of the other important online media that you need to be able to access. Certainly more details will be available in the online lectures as we get started in the course, but it's a good idea to get an idea of sort of how the course works and how to maybe prepare ahead of time. So first and foremost, there is a required book, as indicated here, the first component of the online Canvas syllabus. It is called Numerical Methods in Engineering with Python, 3rd edition by Jan Kuselas, Cambridge University Press. Generally, an ebook is sufficient, and one thing that's important is that here's a link here that I've provided you. As a UT student, you have free access to the electronic copy of that textbook. And if you click on that link and enter your appropriate net ID, you can get access to that book. I'll just show you, for example, after you click on the link, this is what you'll see. And you'll see it broken down into not just the front and the table of contents, but each chapter is available and accessible as a PDF, which is very nice that you can go through the material on the book, especially for the homework assignments, and see them. And it's free. So that's a benefit for you as a UT student, and an agreement with the library and the publishers. Also, there is a Zybook. Many of you are familiar with that. Some other courses that you have with me and other faculty here in the department. So there's a Zybook for programming in Python 3, which is very, very helpful. And I'll show that to you in just a second. We'll go over the details. Does require a $25 subscription fee to access that Zybook, but I think you'll find it as an interactive book to really get you comfortable with using this language, because all your homework assignments in this class are basically submitting Python scripts. Talked about getting access to the textbook. Here's the Zybook information. If you don't already have a Zybook account, you need to set that up. And again, you can go to zybooks.com to do that. But I'm going to provide you a link to the specific book down for this course down below. But make sure that you're always using the account of the form, your net ID at tennessee.edu, and not vols@utk.edu. And that's because we sync this with Canvas to accrue points that get loaded into the gradebook. And authentication Canvas is always using the domain Tennessee, all spelled out. Okay. So your goal in the course in terms of participating through the use of the Zybook is to accumulate 950 points, which would be all the points that you could earn by doing participatory and challenge activities. You can, many attempts as possible that it takes for you to get them completed. So there's no rush, take your time, work through them. And I encourage you to get started as soon as you can. You could actually complete this component even before the course begins in July. But you must do these to get the participation grade, right? So the scope of the course is on solving scientific problems that typically arise in natural and physical sciences and engineering using Python. And it's important that I point out that we use Python as the vehicle for problem solving, but there's not enough time in this very short online course of 4 weeks to fully grasp all the concepts that are possible with Python. So we just go through enough to make sure that you can do the assignments in this course, but it will launch, I think, an important step for you learning this language, which is a really great scripting language for problem solving. But the scope of the course is not to make you a complete Python programmer. That's going to have to come on your own outside of the class. So here's sort of indicated on the syllabus. You can see right here how the course breaks down in weeks. The first week we do go through just the basics of Python that's necessary. Then we get into solving linear systems of equations. Then we go in the next week into interpolation and root finding. Then we get into numerical differentiation, how you can approximate derivatives of functions numerically. Then similarly with integration. And if possible, a little bit on differential equations and solving initial value problems. The prereqs for the course, this is just coming straight from the catalog, is you should have had Computer Science 140 and Math 251. This is an elective for the Computer Science BS degree. Several of you may be taking the minor. Definitely a great class to count as part of the minor as well. Generally speaking, it's good to be taking this course after you've gotten most of the core out of the way, but you know, as long as you have these prerequisites, everything's fine. Here's how the grade is broken down in the course. I mentioned the Python programming training that you're doing using the iBook, that counts 10%. The homework assignments count 30%. There's going to be weekly quizzes that you do on Canvas. If many of you have had those before, you're used to them, it's usually multiple choice formats, and you're given usually an hour to do that. And then the final exam is also online. So all the examinations and the homework is online. There is no need to come to campus at any time. So this will benefit many of you who are doing co-ops and internships. Again, that point distribution could change. Typically, it doesn't, but it's subject to change depending upon how the 4 weeks goes. Typically, I do drop the lowest quiz grade. And again, I've already mentioned that they're taken online. And again, we strongly prohibit cheating. You should access this material, process the homework on your own, and just keep in mind that even though it's an online course, the honor code is in place. Code submissions. There's a grading rubric provided with each assignment, so you'll know what's expected and how the points are distributed for that assignment. Again, you're submitting Python scripts, and each script should have your name, your net ID, and the assignment number at the header on the file. We'll show that again when the first assignment comes around. It's really good to have comments. These scripts won't be particularly long, and not asking to be very verbose here, but it's a good idea to make sure you are commenting the important critical code blocks and how you've decided to implement your solution. In terms of deadlines, there's no makeup quizzes or program assignments. The deadlines are hard and fast. This is a very fast course. You have to keep up, but there's no way I can provide makeups. So please monitor Canvas regularly, and I typically send emails out to remind you of deadlines. For Q&A, I don't particularly use Canvas for the Q&A. I use Piazza. There's a link here on the syllabus for that. If you click on that, this is what you'll see. This is the 370 resource page for that course. But of course, you can go to the Q&A tab and be able to post any question that you have, and you'll get responses from me and the TA for the class. So you need to sign up for the Piazza page on your own, right? When you click on that link that I provided on the Canvas page right here, you need to make sure that you can log into your account or create one. The grading schema is indicated here. This is typically how I distribute grades in here. It's a little bit different than I do on class because we don't get one-on-one here, so a little bit more flexible in terms of how A's and B's are distributed. But I've held pretty closely to this schema. I usually point out that if the enrollment is under 30, there isn't a GTA. No worries here for this summer. There's many of you taking the course well above 30, more than the neighborhood of 60 students will be taking it. So we will have a GTA to help with grading and with answering your questions. Okay, so let me show you what the zybook looks like very quickly. Here's the zybook that, again, you can work through it. I see I've already got 3 students subscribed to it. Basically, if you've not used the zybook, it's an interactive book that has sections. As you can see, you read through the material. Some of the beginning material is pretty basic. In some places, you'll see me posting an instructor note that, for example, this is the introductory material might be too elementary for many CS majors. Just get through it, quickly. It's not a problem. They've designed this for someone who actually hasn't done any programming at all, but that shouldn't prohibit you from going through it still. But then you'll get into material in terms of details in the other sections, chapters such as variable and expressions, and the syntax of the language and how it works. And again, moving on to that one as an example, there's always activities within them that you need to do. They're interactive, and you need to be able to do all those to accumulate those points. And after you accumulate those points, they will be transferred to Canvas. So one thing to realize that's very important, when you access the zybook, you need to do that through the assignment tab. So here, back on the Canvas syllabus, when you come into Canvas and you click on assignments, you're looking for this link right here, participating in challenge activities. That's how you want to enter your zybook. That's going to make the authentication between Canvas and the zybook, so that when you complete activities in zybook, they are automatically transferred over to Canvas. So I'll say that again. This is the entry point to the zybook, not through just entering the URL directly to the zybook. You need to link through. You click on this link, and you'll see that it's going to load it in a new window, and that's how you want to interact, exactly the way I just did it here. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to accomplish in this introduction. I may be posting others just to get you started, but I think I really do encourage you to get access to the Python zybook as soon as you can, so that you can, on your own during the summer before July 8th comes around, be able to work through it, get comfortable with the language. If you need help in terms of when you use the zybook, you don't have to establish the interpreter. It's already built into the zybook, but there is information under Module tab on the Canvas site that you can look at for course materials on Python installation. So there's several links here in terms of how to install it on a Mac or Windows, or accessing it on the EECS lab machines. So please look through those if you'd like to. You could install Python 3.4 on your own home machine or laptop. It's not required, because you can access them through the EECS department machines if you'd rather do that with SSH. But at some point, you will need to be able to access Python 3.4 to do the assignments. So again, welcome to the course. I think you'll enjoy it. I think there's a lot to be gained by getting some exposure to scientific computing and using a really great language like Python to do it. Again, you have a great day, and I will see all of y'all very soon, on July 8th.